Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. So, despite all of the new games coming out recently, there's been very little by way of gaming news that's actually really worth discussing. But I've been having this roll around in the back of my mind for a while, so of course we'll not be pursuing our regularly scheduled review this evening. Instead, we'll be discussing some recent goings-on and my meandering thoughts regarding the community of Star Citizen. Now, I know that a lot of people have been waiting for quite some time for me to produce another Star Citizen video. There for a time, my channel was one of the main sources of information when it came to the whole Derek Smart vs. Star Citizen fandom for quite a while. The original Smart vs. Roberts video was one of the earliest videos on my channel, and garnered me a fair amount of respect online for being able to maintain objectivity over Star Citizen in spite of my massive fandom for the Wing Commander series, amongst others. Now, recently, the topic of fandoms has come up quite a bit. In several comments on some videos on my channel, in the recent Bethesda decision regarding review codes, and in recent events surrounding the Star Citizen fandom and anti-fandom that have popped up as the game's development cycle has progressed, or, according to some, hasn't progressed. Now, this has been at the forefront of my mind for a while, and it was actually Total Biscuit that coined a phrase that really resonated in my thoughts and forced them to settle down into something coherent. And that was that he referred to fandoms as a tribe. And while yes, it irritates me a little bit that I have been fighting for so long to find a way to adequately relate my thoughts about fandom only to have him accomplish it with a single sentence, it's still extremely apt. Now, for the purposes of this discussion, however, we'll limit things to the recent dust-up between the Star Citizen fandom and the Derek Smart anti-fandom. So recently, a Star Citizen backer was accused of pedophilia. The reason why I'm referring to him as a Star Citizen backer is that for some reason that entirely escapes me, that seems to be the point that people have focused on. Now, Derek Smart and his ilk have apparently been attempting to tie this person's actions, or alleged actions, to Cloud Imperium and the Star Citizen fandom in what seems to be an attempt to color everyone associated with the game by the same brush. In return, the Star Citizen fandom have been accused of defending the man in question because he's part of the community. And through it all, I can't help but feel a small amount of disgust over the whole situation. Now, while it is true that no real indication of people defending FuzzyModem, the online moniker of the man in question, I've seen so many people rush to combat Derek Smart himself that this could be taken as a form of defense out of sheer hatred for the one delivering the message. What FuzzyModem is accused of is wrong. What he's been accused of having done is horribly wrong. It is deplorable. It is disgusting. And if convicted, I hope the punishment is harsh. However, I will not condemn a man who has not had a fair trial based on the small snippets of information currently available. Conversely, condemning an entirely online gaming community for the actions, whether alleged or real, of one man to be absolute insanity. So let me be clear, there have been a good number of reasons why I have not provided any additional content surrounding Star Citizen, despite my occasionally having intentions to do so. Every time I prepare for a video, I typically take to the forums and to Reddit to garner some additional information, and what I find in both places is the most insular and hostile groups of people as I have ever found outside of League of Legends. In addition to that, every member of the anti-fandom is every bit as hostile and closed off. It seems based on empirical evidence that the vast majority on either side of the fence is so automatically hostile to any opinion that might even offer a hint of difference to their own, that the risk to my channel could become actually very real. You see, despite my ability to maintain objectivity, fandoms on either side of the fence have seemed so incredibly hostile and negative towards each other and towards outsiders that I've felt very strongly that my time and my efforts could be better served elsewhere. And this is due to the very real danger that a flood of negativity from either side or both sides at once could bury my channel to the point where it might not recover. Now, make no mistake, fandoms are indeed tribal and insular. They defend their viewpoints and the viewpoints of those that are part of their group to near religious levels. They do this even in spite of their own best interests as consumers. They do this sometimes even when combating pure and simple fact. Now, over $130 million has been raised through various means to fund Star Citizen and the seemingly all but forgotten single-player campaign, Squadron 42. And over the course of 5 years and untold numbers of setbacks and delays, the game still has yet to be delivered in any true form. Many of the points raised by naysayers and die-hard loyalists could be debated back and forth for hours, but the 30,000-foot view, as you might say, points these out to be facts. Now, as a YouTuber whose channel's objective is consumer awareness and consumer protection, Star Citizen offers a full conundrum. The dichotomy surrounding the game makes it a joke in some circles, while it is being heralded as the virtual second coming by others. While at the same time, in YouTube circles, much the same thing exists. You have some YouTubers like Board Gamer who have literally built their channels around the game, and then you have other gaming critique channels that regard Star Citizen as a joke and won't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. And here I am, finding myself somehow, once again, in the middle. Now, this is not an area to which I want to stay, and yet it is probably where I will remain for some time to come. Because in all of the chaos, in all of the severe hype with very little delivery, and in all of the insanity surrounding both the hardcore supporters and ardent detractors, I still feel like a voice of reason within the maelstrom can serve a necessary, even vital purpose. Whether I will serve as one of those voices is still yet to be determined, but right now, it is very much in doubt. And when someone attempts to paint an entire community for the actions of one, there is something very wrong there indeed. Derek Smart's attempt to do exactly that was wrong and is not acceptable. But to be honest, in a sea of negativity and hostility on both sides, it's growing even harder to tell where the line is drawn, where it should be drawn, and who is in the right, if anyone. So there will be some difficult decisions to be made over the coming weeks. Perhaps I can continue to report on the game without interacting with the fandoms as a whole on either side of the fence. I don't know. But rest assured, whatever the decision is, it will be made for the benefit of my channel, and more importantly, for my viewers. Once again, I am SidAlpha, and I will see you next time.